All right. You're in the basement with Nick Thomas and Bootsy Hambone from the band Diesel Fitter. And this is the Basement Tape Show. We are bringing you guys some of the best local bands and local musicians' music that the area has to offer, and outside the realm of the Ozarks as well. Everybody is local from somewhere.
Absolutely.
We've got a great show lined up. Later on in this segment, we are going to be interviewing the band Earn from out of Chicago, Illinois. These guys are a fantastic band. They're a little bit symphonic. They're a little bit Celtic. They're a little bit loud, and they're a little
all
bit
metal.
And they're all metal, man. You're gonna love that stuff. We're gonna be interviewing those guys at about 7:30, so check it out. Stick around for that. Let's get into some music for you guys right now. The other day, this whole weekend, Bootsy and I have had the pleasure of going and seeing live bands all weekend. We saw the Puddle Pirates yesterday over at the Aries Party.
I love the Aries Party.
It was a fantastic time. And the food was just awesome.
It always is.
Hey, kudos to Nancy and all the guys out there at the Aries Party. Thank you so much for having us. But we're going to start the show off with Puddle Pirates doing a song called Having Fun at the Lake. They're from Rolla, Missouri, of course. And then we're going to follow that up with Strangefellas doing a song called Misfortune Teller. They're out of Lebanon, Missouri. And then
Molotov
Latte.
Yeah.
Doing a song called Big Fish. They're out of Springfield, Missouri. And Chemically Imbalanced. We saw them guys at Sput's Place just the other night at... And I tell you what, they're out of St. Louis, Missouri, and they're going to do a song called Rock the Cradle, which is a
Billy Idol cover.
Yes, of course. So sit back, relax. You're in the basement, and Bootsy's going to tell you about it.
Oh, yeah, Bootsy just has one more thing to say. We're starting off the show with all the bands that we heard this weekend, and unfortunately, we didn't hear Strangefellas and Molotov Latte, but they were in Rolla, and we missed our chance to see them, so we're going to play something from them tonight.
So it's all good stuff right here in the basement. Sit back, relax. This is the Puddle Pirates. Check this out. This is a song called Having Fun at the Lake.
this is Bill.
And Mike. And Scott.
With Strangefellas, and you're listening to the Basement Tapes with Nick and Bootsy.
This is Steve with Smooth Down Underband, and you're hanging out in the basement with Nick and Bootsy on KKID, the Basement Tapes.
They were so different, yet they were the same. votes weighed nothing. Atone for sins of drugs and sluttiness. He wants the power of no surprises. A butcher yes and that he despises. Yeah, I'm venting here, but the vent rocks nothing. Never atone for this friendship tragedy. I know a long time there was nothing between us, and now I'm just a nemesis. I wanna stroke the hate in those big egos.
Hey, this is Jeff.
This is Chris.
And this is Steve.
This is Josh, and we are Scar Nation. And you're listening to the Basement Tape Show with Nick and Bootsy.
Oh, man. That was Chemically Imbalanced doing Rock the Cradle. They're from out of St. Louis, Missouri. We got to see them last night at Sput's place. And that Alan, man, I tell you what, that boy, he can play that guitar. He is a guitar virtuoso.
He was a smoking.
He was smoking. I love it. Before that was Molotov Latte.
Molotov.
You say it, Bootsy. You say it better than I do.
Molotov Latte.
Doing a song called Big Fish. They're out of Springfield, Missouri. Before that, a band out of Lebanon, Missouri, doing a song called Misfortune Teller called Strangefellas. Those guys are awesome, too. And we started the set out with the Puddle Pirates from Rolla, Missouri, right here, doing a song called Having Fun at the Lake. And I tell you what, Randy, you can play that guitar too, brother. You're smoking on that. And Wayne on the bass, you guys can do some good work. I was very impressed with that. Love it. I love it. This is the Basement Tape Show with Nick and Bootsy on the radio. The next stuff we got up, you're going to love it also. We got Blowsight out of Sweden. Check this out.
Our local Swedish band tonight. Our local European band.
That's right. And they're going to do a song for you called Hit on the Radio. They're hoping it's going to be a hit on the radio, I guess. And then after that is David Parsons out of St. Louis, Missouri, doing a song called Who Do You Know? So sit back, relax. You're in the basement with Nick and Bootsy. This is Blowsight doing a song called Hit on the Radio.
We start to miss and make a new fight. We break, we die, make up and love that this is alright. Oh, I never wanna leave you, 'cause baby when I see you, you're taking me far away. You're making it hard to say. Just like a hit on the radio, it's romancing. Hit on the radio, it's dancing. Colorful and bright, shining over the stars tonight. She was the best at dancing. You drink them, now you do it over again. Walking out this spoon, baby, we are more than just friends. Oh, I never wanna leave you, 'cause baby, when I see you, you're taking me far away. You're making it hard to say. Just like a hit on the radio, it's romancing. Hit on the radio, it's dancing. Colorful and bright, shining over the stars tonight. She was the best at dancing. So get into the groove, get into the groove. You don't even have to try. And show me your best move, show me your best move. It's gonna get me out of line. I wanna taste your skin and get you tied to the floor. I wanna see your lips wiggle, wanna see something more. I wanna push you to the corner, make the sweat off your arms and get addicted by the scent. You're the goddess of charm. Just like a hit on the radio, hit on the radio. Colorful and bright, shining over the stars tonight. Just like a hit on the radio, it's romancing. Hit on the radio.
You're listening to the
KKID!
Basement Tape Show with Nick and Bootsy.
I like that.
That was David Parsons out of St. Louis, Missouri, doing a song called Who Do You Know? Right before that was Blowsight out of Sweden doing a song called Hit on the Radio. And man, I really enjoyed that song. That was really cool. Like, these guys from Sweden and all the bands that we get stuff from overseas, are they always do really cool stuff. Even if they're not singing in English, it doesn't matter, because music sounds good no matter what language it's in. Hey, you've got Nick and Bootsy here on the Basement Tape Show, and we're having a great time. We might just have somebody on the line. we are going to interview tonight. We've got special guests, Dominic and Chris from the band Earn. And Dominic, have we got you on the line right now?
We're here if you're here.
Hey, man, we can hear you.
Very good.
All right, how you guys doing tonight?
We're doing great. Yeah, having a good time. We just had a nice dinner. Very nice dinner, yep. Nice dinner. Beautiful day down here in Florida. Had a family day to the zoo. Wasn't going good.
I was just going to ask you where you guys were calling from.
We are calling you right now from a town in Florida known as Melbourne. We are located right on the Atlantic Coast Beach. We're about an hour to an hour and a half to the southeast of Orlando, Florida.
Okay, where does the Chicago thing come in?
Well, it does come in. The rest of the band is up in Chicago. Now, we started, the band actually originated in Cleveland around 1994. We were a bunch of college students at a school up there, and we kind of did more death metal back in the day. But in 99, 2000, I relocated to Chicago after playing with a band called the Electric Club for a couple
They're
years.
not on.
And then what it is that Liam, the drummer, Julian, the bass player, and I kind of rebuilt the band in August of 2000, and we were in Chicago at the time because I had relocated to Chicago due to my involvement with the Electric Hellfire Club. Our managers, lawyers, and everything was all based in Chicago. So the rest of the group is still in Chicago. Just the two of us have kind of come down to Florida because we had enough of the traffic jam.
How many guys do you actually have on the band? In the band?
Technically 5.
We've seen pictures of like a whole bunch of you in the band.
That's true. That is true. Basically, the starting lineup is 5, but we have a lot of reserve people. Yeah. What it is sometimes when you're an international touring act like we are, sometimes life gets in the way. And there's nothing wrong with that. There are more important things in life than rock and roll. We certainly still stand by that philosophy. So what we've done is that we have a lot of friends and a lot of other bands that maybe their respective band doesn't have the opportunity to tour, or they don't get to play outside of the market. So what we'll do is if, say, a life conflict comes up, say like a sick relative or something of that nature abounds, we'll sometimes get friends and other bands to fill in the slot, and they'll come with us. So you can think of Earn as, technically speaking, there's 5 people a lot of time on stage, but you could say there's up to 12 people in this band in some level of involvement. So.
All right. Hey, you guys, I noticed that you guys play 8-string guitars. Now, can you tell us a little bit about that?
Back in 2000, this is Chris speaking, but 2008, 2009, I decided to go 8-string because I was just looking for a new sound, new level, and after hearing some of my favorite bands like Meshuggah and Fear Factory going 8-string, decided to go that route. I played 7-string from 1995 through 2009 and got a Ibanez 8-string then, and just recently I went to the RAN 8-string guitar, which is a company out of Poland that custom built me a V-shaped 8-string. And it gives you an extended range of tones and a lot more deeper than a normal 6 or 7-string can do.
Well, correct me if I'm wrong, but I've got a bouzouki at home, which is kind of like I would think an 8-string guitar would be like a souped-up bouzouki, electric bouzouki. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm not sure what that is. Maybe Dominic knows.
Well, it's a Celtic instrument, you know, and a lot of people play them in Celtic bands like Great Big Sea and stuff like that. And,
You're right. To a degree, yes, in the fact that it has 8 strings, but I don't think they're tuned the same. The thing about the 8-string guitars that we use, it's pretty much like your standard 6-string electric guitar. Let's say you're in a standard 440 tuning on a 6-string, you're E, A, D, G, B, and E. The 7th string is a B, the 8th string is an F sharp, technically speaking.
Nice.
And that's a half a step.
Oh.
So it's kind of like having a baritone built into your 6th.
What's known as an E, so 1 octave below a standard 6-string guitar, 1 octave above a standard bass.
Cool. Well, I like that. Well, I tell you what, you guys have got a brand new video coming out, and what's the concept? And tell us about the name of the video and what the concept is on that too, please.
It's called Castle and Amber. It was Dominic can answer what it's actually about.
Yeah, they basically, without getting morbid on the subject matter, it is basically dealing with suicide. We have a lot of people that we've worked with over the years, and when you work in the Gothic sub-genres, there tends to be a lot of darkness, there tends to be a lot of depression, there tends to be a lot of, morose themes in the subculture, because a lot of people grew up maybe in broken homes or something of that nature. And really where Cats and Amber came from is we had a couple friends close to us that unfortunately had taken their lives in recent years. And what this is about was it's kind of like, think of it as the lyrical content is to be interpreted in a way of like reading a suicide letter, or the person who has passed on said, okay, this is the reason why I've left, and then the lyrics was like, but don't cry for me, there's millions of people who have done this. It's just kind of more of dealing with the fact of that there's no situation too great that it can't be lessened, that there is always a hope somewhere else, because it's not just so much people missing out on you, but what you can miss out on life later on, because you never know what the future is going to bring.
And I'd like to add that if the video was shot in HD, it is absolutely crystal clear, stunning camera work off the coast of Melbourne, the city of Melbourne, right on the river. And there was, when we were doing the video, there was dolphins swimming around, enjoying the...
3 of them.
Yes, swimming around and enjoying the music and reacting to it. It was really cool.
I kept thinking I was going to get knocked off the one pier when I'm doing my one solo shot. 2 of them literally came up within less than several feet from me, and I'm like, this is going to be intriguing.
But the visual effects are just amazing with the HD camera work, thanks to Noah Global Rapture.
Indeed.
I want to ask you something about your video.
Sure.
Who comes up with the video?
I'm the one that came up with the original concept and then the treatment. For the most part, if you look at all the videos we did, the first video we did, Shadow Dancer, I collaborated with Michelle Ballinger, who a lot of your listeners may be familiar with. If you had watched the one Ghost Hunter show, Paranormal State, that ran on the A&E network for a number of years, Michelle was the psychic advisor. Her and I were college best friends, and she was a singer in a band of mine about maybe 15, 20 years ago. We called it Sacrosanct. It was very much your Sisters of Mercy, Fields of the Nephilim type of a gothic rock, post-punk type of a band. So she usually collaborates with us, every now and again, doing guest vocals and things like that. So for Shadow Dancer, I let her kind of come up with the concept of that video. But the Patch 2, the Reckoning Hour video off of our Scribings of Forgotten Soul album, and this current one, Cast and Amber, I pretty much came up with the concept of it.
That's cool. And I tell you what, you guys are all over the place right now. You're getting ready to go back on tour, I guess, and you're going to start touring other countries as well. What's up with that?
Yeah, we've toured several different countries over the course of our 13 years. Right now, we're actually in the studio trying to put the final touches. Actually, we're calling you from the recording studio as we speak. We're trying to put the final touches on our current album, which will be called Epiphany. And then once we're done with that, we do kick off a couple of tours. We're kicking off in Honduras in August, and we'll go up through a couple of countries down there, like Guatemala, through Mexico. We're going to come back up, do Texas, all the way through Louisiana, back here into Florida. We're also supposed to go back to Canada sometime in November. Well, at least we're still working out the contracts at that point.
So you're going to go to the country of Texas, huh?
That's a big country.
In their state charter, they're allowed to secede and become their own country. So
nice.
If you've been to Texas, you understand what I'm talking about.
Hey, I used to live in Texas. I lived there for 8 years, so I know exactly what you're talking about.
Exactly. I mean, then.
Must have been referred to the picture of us standing in the alleyway and behind the theater.
Yeah, that was
all the people. That was some of the extended family of Ern.
Yeah.
I'm looking at the picture you have up on your website.
Oh, yeah, that's a good picture. You guys have lots of good pictures.
So that's behind the Congress Theater the night before we performed in Chicago.
Well, you guys do some awesome music, and we want to get our listeners into some of this. Can you guys hang on to the line right now while we play a song?
No, go ahead.
Okay.
Hey, you'll like these songs.
We want to start out with Bootsy, what do we want to start out with?
Autumnal Sunrise.
Is that cool with you guys?
Actually, we want to congratulate you, the first people that have actually pronounced autumnal correct of all the interviews we've done.
Really? Are you serious? We played this.
These guys get points, man. They actually knew the word.
I love this. This is the first song. When I first heard you guys, this is the first song that I heard, and that's when I think I remember asking the question that, do you have some type of Celtic influence?
We certainly do.
We
certainly do.
It comes through big time on this song, so that's like my favorite one so far.
Yes, we've got a 6-lever harp and a electric violin going on with us in this song as well. So.
Well, I have to tell you the truth. Bootsy is a professional at pronouncing words correctly. She's always correcting me all the time, believe me. All right, so you got Dominic and Chris live right here on the Basement Tapes show from the band Earn, and we're going to play you guys say that again, Bootsy.
Autumnal Sunrise.
Right now. So sit back, relax. You're in the basement. Check this out. This is Earn. You're going to like this. Check it out.
Rising is calling, it's asking for me. Rising
Awesome stuff. That's Earn from out of Chicago, Illinois. And we've got Dominic and Chris from Earn right here on the radio with us tonight in the basement with Nick and Bootsy. You guys, I tell you what, that was Epiphany, a song by them guys. And before that was Bootsy. What was the first song?
Autumnal Sunrise.
I love that stuff. You guys are awesome.
Well, thank you so much. Thank you, sir.
I have to tell you something during the songs. We've got a chat room that is accessible both online on our website and also on Facebook. It's like the same chat room on both places. But I'm talking to one of our friends, Dr. Mooser, great harmonica player, listens to our show all the time, and he absolutely loves you guys. And what he said is he said that he thought you guys sounded like a cross between Sisters of Mercy and Dropkick Murphys.
Oh, my. Wow.
So
that's good. We've never heard that before, but that's good.
Or a Tom Sunrise, right?
Probably, yeah.
Well, I got to ask you, I usually ask this question to all the bands that we interview. What made you come up with the name for your band, Earn? What's the concept behind it?
There's no concept. There's actually really nothing intriguing behind it. Long ago, when I was touring, I was working in a death metal band in Cleveland. One of the guitar roadies that we had always thought that a good name for a death metal band would be Earn, because if you do it in a death metal vocal, it'd be like, it just sounded really cool if the crowd would do that back at you, and that's really where we came up with it.
Well, I'm glad you guys don't do that.
I would love to say there's some mythical reason about death and life, but no, it sounded cool to some guy, and we just ran with it.
Well, I tell you what, though, and I did check out, on Facebook and stuff, on the web and stuff, and there is another band out there called Earn, and they have a pretty good following. There's another band.
They're from another country, aren't they?
Yeah, they are. Yes. Yeah.
There's a Finnish. They're
across the pond.
They're
across the pond.
And they're black metal. Yeah.
Yeah, they are.
At the same time, so there's been a little bit of confusion between the two bands.
So what's your schedule look like right now? Where are you guys going to be touring? Where can people get out to check out you guys within the next few months or
weeks? What
you
gonna do this summer?
Yeah, what's up?
Okay, well, basically, like I said, we're going to be spending the next couple of months trying to put the finishing touches on the new album. And the last song you played, Epiphany, is the title track off that album. So for the most part, we're trying to get everything finalized here that we're hoping to have out hopefully end of May, beginning of June. And then we kick off the international touring in August. We're kicking off in Honduras, and we'll be working our way through Central and South America. And then we've also got a few dates up in Canada that we've got to get doing. So for the most part, as far as the United States, our touring plans, we don't really have anything on the books yet. We do have a couple of offers, but we really haven't had a chance to ascertain as to whether or not we can get them scheduled in. But in the meantime, we're going to be getting the songs out there. All of our previous albums are all over the place. You can find us on iTunes. We're on all sorts of major internet providers in terms of stores. You can find us on iTunes, Napster, Audio Lunchbox, Rhapsody. We're on Spotify. We're pretty much anywhere you can go, Earbits, the whole 9 yards. And usually for a while there, you could get our hard copies of our CDs in your major chain stores, such as the Best Buys and the FYE. So we're going to continue to pound the music, and the video's been getting picked up by a lot of channels right now. We've been getting a lot of, I know that we've been getting a lot of good, positive, strong plays for the video in some foreign countries as well. I believe it charted in Honduras, if I'm not mistaken. We've also been hearing from the Guatemalan consulate about how excited they are about things as well, in terms of how the video is being perceived and how the new music is being perceived. And the feedback has been very humbling, to say the least. But as far as local dates and states, we haven't been able to come up with anything concrete. There's a couple of offers that have come in, but we're still trying to find out if we can get everything to work in time.
Well, I hope so, because I'd love to see you guys in St. Louis. If you guys come to St. Louis, you have to let us know, because we will be there.
We actually headlined a show at Pops last year at the end of July.
Nice.
Yeah, we headlined our own show at Pops, and that's one of the tour dates that have been thrown at us that we've been wanting to come back. And, of course, we're very interested in it, but, of course, scheduling with everything we've got going on between the studio time, the album, and the international touring, we're trying to see if we can get it worked in. So believe me, once we know, we'll let you all know.
Well, I hope so. I really do, because we would love to come see you guys and hang out with you backstage or whatever, you know.
I want to ask you a question about your album. This is kind of a different question. We just had here, was it last week, we had Record Store Day?
Yeah.
And there are artists all over the place who are coming out with new albums on vinyl. Have you guys thought about doing that?
We've had discussions about it, but to be honest with you, we haven't really been leaning towards it because, like our last 3 albums and our little EP before that, we did everything on CD, which for all intents and purposes is becoming a dying medium. And actually, a couple of the record labels that we've been talking to, quite honestly, it's going to be pretty much a digital release because it just seems like that seems to be, the MP3 format seems to be what people want to do.
I just bought some CDs line from an artist named Jeff Loomis, who's an ex-Nevermore guitarist. I just downloaded his disc in MP3 format. You know, I didn't feel like going to Best Buy or any of the places to buy anything. I just got it on downloaded.
And that is easy too. You know, Bootsy and I, we just went to St. Louis the other night and saw somebody in concert. His name is
Tommy
Castro, and he was actually selling his vinyls there. And he said, if you guys are still doing it the old-fashioned way and listening to tunes on your phone, you can still buy my vinyl tonight. You know,
it's a very valid point. I have no argument there. You know, but for us, we have not. There was a couple of independent record labels that have courted us about the subject matter, but at this point, we're just more worried about getting it out to the popular mediums where the fans will want to purchase it. As eloquently said, like, you know, hey, you know, these days, you know, most people aren't buying CDs. They're just wanting to go to, like, iTunes or Napster or whatever.
I download it straight to my cell phone.
Absolutely.
Well, I know I do that. I try to a couple of times a month. I try to go and buy a digital download, and I think I probably know now what my next purchase is going to be.
Of course.
I think you might have guessed it. What's the name of this album?
It's going to be entitled Epiphany.
That's my favorite song to play live, too.
Is it really?
It sounds like a lot of fun to play, no doubt, because, you know, Bootsy and I, we have our own blues band, and we play as well, so we're musicians as well, and you sound like you guys have a lot of fun playing.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, we do.
It's a very positive experience.
Hey, I want to know who your bass player is.
That's my twin brother.
Well, that's because they look so much alike. I mean, except one's got blonde hair, strawberry blonde, the other one's redhead with freckles. But truth of the matter is, if you would look at us on stage, the two of them next to each other, you'd probably have a hard time telling them apart under certain stage lighting. But
same antics.
Same antics, same demeanor, same vocal patterns. I mean,
the same.
Don't go there. Our bass player's name is Julian Umberger. Unfortunately, he could not join us tonight. We were going to try and see if we can conference him in the phone call, but he is currently attending a family reunion in the Pittsburgh area and was not available.
Well, you tell Julian I think he's awesome.
I will certainly do so. I'm sure he's trying to listen as we speak somewhere.
Well, hey, give us a rundown on the people in the band and what they play. You know, the names and what they play. Give us a rundown of the band.
Liam Hamning. I don't know much about the guy.
Liam Hamning is the current drummer right now, and he's been our primary drummer in terms of live and for recordings. He's been working with us on and off for 13 years. And in times when he can't do it, we have a gentleman by the name of Nick Kapka, who's played with a couple of very well-known bands, originating out of the Chicago area. He's filled in for us in the studio. And Ivan Godinez of Night Creation, they're based out of Kansas City, has also filled in for us doing international touring.
He did the last tour, or the 2 tours back.
2 tours
Great
prior.
drummer, great attitude, very positive guy.
Yes,
funny as hell.
He's from Guatemala City, and it was through him that we were able to kind of get these doors open to these Latin American countries and allowed us to see the overwhelming response, the rabidness that these people have. I mean, they just hunger for music down there. And obviously, you know, when we mention countries like Honduras and Guatemala and El Salvador, people tend to cringe, but And don't get us wrong. I mean, we definitely exercise that very, very heavy security protocols when we go down there. But the one thing that I think I would probably want your listeners to know is that there's a lot of people down there that really, like I said, hunger is the best word I can use. It was not lost upon us when we were down there last year how much they appreciated us coming and playing for them, because very little of that happens anymore.
Oh, maybe Bootsy and I need to schedule Diesel Fitter to come down there and play some blues for those guys.
They probably would go over well.
I wrote a blues song just a couple of weeks ago. I recorded it with my father-in-law. It's pretty good.
But getting back to the rest of the roster acts, obviously we have Julian Umberger on bass, and he's the primary backing vocalist. Our keyboardist, currently right now, we have been working with a Drake Mephisto, who had been filling in and helping us out. We also have an Uriel Aramandiris that also helps out. He's in Night Creation with Yvonne, who we mentioned earlier. They pitched in and helped out. Chris is obviously plays a lot of the guitars in the band. I'm the lead singer as well as a lot of the lead guitars as well. And on occasion, we have a beautiful girl named Jenna that plays electric violin for us, which you had heard on both songs that you had played.
And I tell you what, the two girls you have in the band, the keyboard player and the violinist, you have pictures on them on your website. They're very cute, very good-looking women.
I should probably give mention that Tracy DeMarco, who played the harp and the keyboards, she's basically no longer working with Ern. We had a very amicable mutual parting. She has her own musical project that she does back in, I believe she's in the Kankakee area of Illinois, called The Glass Hour, and she's finally getting her album put out after such a long time. So we're really excited for her.
That's cool.
We'll have to check her out.
She couldn't make the time anymore for Ern's remaining schedule, so we wanted to thank her for all that she did for us.
So you've replaced the keyboard player, I guess.
That's where Drake Mephisto was coming in and helping out, yes.
Cool.
How in the heck do you guys get together to practice?
Usually when we get together for tours, we get together for a few days prior to, and we just kind of camp up in the studio, and it's, 12-hour days?
Yeah, the last
Wow. Aren't your fingers bleeding by the end of the day?
Yeah, we're pulling our hair out, too.
That's so cool. And we are talking to Ern, Dominic and Chris from the band Ern, and this is the Basement Tape Show. And you guys, it's been awesome talking to you guys right now. We always like to ask the bands that we interview, if you want to shout out to somebody you'd like to say thank you to for your influencing, or for just somebody that's helped you out along the line to make your band better. Who do you want to say hello to and thank you to?
Okay, well, at this point, we would like to thank Yvonne Loveland and all the staff at Buddha Queen Management, who have done a lot to help us with a lot of these public events and interviews and stuff of that nature. So we certainly would like to give once again, a very profound thanks to not just Yvonne, but all of her street team, Salome, Kimberly Brown, everybody that's worked really hard in that organization to do a lot to help us out. I mean, so we're constantly out on the road or constantly in the studio. We really appreciate the fact that they take the time that we don't have the ability to make to get the word out there of where we are, what we're doing, and when we're doing it.
And anybody else?
Quite a few people. We obviously want to thank our family.
Of course. They put up with a lot from you guys, no doubt about it.
Not really. No shit whatsoever.
Well, man, it's been awesome talking to you guys tonight, and we really appreciate you guys being on our show. We're gonna end up with playing a couple more songs by you guys called "Reckoning Hour" and "Cast in Amber." You want to tell us a little bit about these songs before we get into them?
Sure. Real quickly, both songs we have videos released for. You can find them on YouTube. Reckoning Hour is off our previous album called Scrubbings of Forgotten Soul, which in quickness was a concept album about a prison riot, told from two perspectives, one being a prison guard, one being an inmate. And this was based on a real-life experience of two friends of mine who were surviving a prison riot that occurred in Pennsylvania, where my wife and I grew up.
Wow.
And this, the one was the night shift commander of my best friend growing up was his dad. And then, unfortunately, a couple of them were high school football teammates of mine. that got caught up in the wrong kind of things and survived this horrific event. So Reckoning Hour is technically the chapter where the main character is it's the courtroom scene. It's very much the Law and Order. This is where he gets sentenced to his prison term, which kind of sets the story for the rest of the album. And it is available all over. We put it out to Rotting Corpse Records in Chicago. I believe you can still purchase it directly through the website, rottingcorpserecords.com. And then, of course, Cats and Amber is the most recent single, which we just released a video a couple weeks ago. And,
beautiful video.
And that will also be on our Epiphany album, which we hope to have released within the next 90 days.
I showed the Cast and Amber video to my grandparents and parents and extended family, and they all loved it.
It's always great when your parents love stuff like that.
Happens when we get approval from family. Very rare.
Well, man, it's been awesome having you guys on the show tonight, and we can't. And I tell you what, I'm serious. If you guys are going to be in St. Louis, Missouri, you have to let us know. We will be there.
We will be there.
Like I said, Pops was very much interested in having us back for headlining show, and we are working with local promoters to see if we can make that happen.
Pops was an amazing place to play. A lot of fun.
All right. Dominic and Chris from the band Earn has been on the show with us right now, and it's just been awesome talking to you guys. We're going to play a couple more songs by these guys right now. You guys, I tell you what, we will catch up with you later, no doubt about it. It's been so cool. And this is Earn doing a song called Reckoning Hour. Check this out.
Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, the evidence that will be presented before you today will clearly illustrate the heinous crime that the defendant committed and will discover the evil that lurks within him and what ultimately drove him to such acts.
The fact of the matter remains that the evidence against my client is circumstantial at the very best, and the prosecution has yet to provide anything conclusive or definitive that proves guilt beyond any reasonable doubt. Therefore, I urge you to review the facts before you and realize that you must acquit my client of any wrongdoing, as he is innocent of all charges filed against him.
Shall say of what's happened to me.
how do you find?
Guilty!
Yes, Your Honor, we have.
Guilty!
We find the defendant.
Guilty!
Guilty.
Guilty! My dreams are so, it seems, are now nightmares to me. This hate that is so great is all that they need. This day that some shall say of what's happened to me. The sin that is within my hour of agony. Horror just grip me as I cannot believe that the sentence that passed simply just cannot be. For justice has faltered and failed on this day. For I'm not the one who should be taken away. The tears in my eyes are now starting to swell as the bailiff does take me away to a cell. If these people are blind, well they surely can't see. It's easier for all just to lay guilt on me. I lay here in bed as I'm locked up in my cell. The noise is so deafening, but who can really tell? I stare at the ceiling and I think some thoughts of dawn. It appears that I've been nothing less than a pawn. Another day in court now will seemingly postponed, and no one will visit. I truly am alone. I can only pray they'll correct this huge mistake, but it seems that for today I'm the one they shall forsake. Guilty! 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 My dreams are so, it seems, are now nightmares to me. This hate that is so great is all that they need. This day that some shall say of what's happened to me. The sin that is within my hour of agony.
That was Earn. We were just talking with Dominic and Chris from the band Earn. And that was Cast in Amber and Reckoning Hour that we just listening to. And it was all good stuff. I tell you what, those guys are going to be all over the world, and I hope that they come to St. Louis, Missouri, so that Bootsy and I and all you guys out there can go see them in concert. They do put on a fantastic show. Check out their website. Check out their Facebook. Check out their music, because it is good stuff. We have a special guest in the studio tonight. We've got Charlie Elliott in the studio. Charlie, how you doing?
Hello.
All right. How you doing, Charles?
Well, I just do pretty well most of the time.
Charles and I, we play a lot of music together. Charles plays a Resophonic guitar.
An old one.
Tell us about it. It's 1936, isn't it?
Hold on. Let's see. It's 37.
1937.
It's a National Resophonic 1937 Chicago series, just made for the blues in Chicago.
And he has been on the show before and played it on the show, especially like on our anniversary shows and stuff like that, you know. And it's got a very unique sound.
It's got that old sound that you can't get. You can't get it anywhere but there.
That's right.
This thing, it does it all too. So.
And I tell you what, every time Charles and I go out and play somewhere. We just played yesterday, actually, at the Aries party, and out at Nancy's place, and he blew the crowd away. It was just amazing. You just wouldn't believe it.
The instrument has a lot to do with it. You know, it's a 1937, and I'm telling you what, they built some fine stuff back then.
Well,
this thing it'll get up and talk and walk, and it'll just, well, you just ask it to do anything, and it'll do it for you. You can pull stuff out of there people haven't ever heard.
Well, and Charles, he does a fantastic job of Maggie's Farm by Bob Dylan. You know, that's one of my favorite songs to play.
A one-chorded song.
Almost. No, it's two chords.
Almost.
I think it's two chords.
Yeah, there's a couple times I hit just one other chord.
Well, mostly E, and then you go to the B7, and then you go back to the E again.
Forever. Yeah.
But
Bob Dylan like you've never heard.
That's right. That's right. That's Charles.
That's it.
That's right. Hey, thanks for coming in the studio tonight, Charles. Hey, is there anybody you want to give a shout out to tonight?
Oh, wow. Gee. Hi, Mom. Honey, is that you? You know, hey, boys. Let's see who else. Well, I've got friends out there. So they're listening going, man, listen to that.
Okay. Hey, this is the part of the show. It's Nick's Picks. And this is the part of the show that I get to play you guys some songs that I like to play. And to tell you the truth, Bootsy and I went to St. Louis just the other night.
I've been hearing about this.
I know. Let me tell you what. And we had a fantastic time. It was Tommy Castro and the Painkillers. And they were at the old Rock House over there on 7th Street, right down from the stadium, Busch Stadium, you know. It's an awesome venue. If you haven't been there, I suggest that you check it out on the web, on Facebook and stuff like that. They've got a fantastic lineup of all kinds of great musicians that play there all the time. They have somebody there almost every night of the week, which is very, very cool. Nobody in Rolla does that yet, but we're striving to make sure that we have live venues somewhere in Rolla every night, because live music is where it's at. You know what I mean? So we went up there, Bootsy and I went up there on a whim and saw Tommy Castro because we love his music. Actually, Bootsy and I play one of his songs in the band, our band, Diesel Fitter, called Had Enough. And the other night, when he took a break, he had 2 sets, and he took a break. And when he took a break, he went up to the concession stand where they were selling his DVDs and CDs and stuff like that. And he's actually got a new vinyl, 45. It's a vinyl. You know, it's come out, and it's got... Do
people have record players?
Yes. Well, it's going back to that now because it sounds so good, you know. And this 45, it's got 2 songs on it called Greedy, and that's all I got. And it's not the black vinyl, it's green vinyl, like money. It looks like, it's just green, okay? And so I bought 2 of them, and he autographed them for us with a Sharpie. You know, he says, here you go, dude. And he says, hey, I asked him, I said, can I interview you on our radio show? And he says, I'll be glad to do it. Just get a hold of, Alligator Records, and they'll set you up to interview me about the time that my new CD comes out, in about 4 or 5 months. Actually, it's going to come out.
His new record.
His new record.
Yeah,
That's
remember
right.
he
on
said
vinyl.
that. Yeah, he said he had been lying to everybody for the last 12 years when he told them that he was having a new record come out.
Oh, and I know
and
I
then
can't
he pulled
wait.
out that 45 and said, "This is a record."
This is a record. He says, this is vinyl. He says, this is a record. He says, you know what? He says, if you guys are still listening to stuff on your phone, you're behind the times.
Yeah, he was saying if you're still using the old-fashioned way or something like that.
Yeah, right, yeah. You got to get the vinyl now because it's back in style, okay? So tonight, for Nick's Picks, I'm going to play Tommy Castro. The first song we're going to play is Had Enough, which is a song that we play in Diesel Fitter. If you were lucky enough to be at the show at the Ozark Actors Theater, it was the second song that Diesel Fitter played when we were playing it at the Ozark Actors Theater here in Rolla, Missouri. But this is Tommy Castro's version of it, and he wrote it, And then after that, we're going to play 2 more of his brand new songs. This is debuting on the Basement Tapes show, Greedy, and That's All I Got, by 2 brand new songs by Tommy Castro. So sit back, relax. You're in the basement with Nick and Bootsy. This is Nick's Picks for this week. Tommy Castro. This is Had Enough. Check it out. Oh, yeah, that's all I got. That was Tommy Castro. That's brand new from him in 2013, Tommy Castro and the Painkillers. And Bootsy and I just went and saw them play that song. And the song before that, Greedy,
I like that one.
just the other night at the old Rock House in St. Louis, just down the street from Busch Stadium. It was awesome. And right before that, we played Had Enough, which is a song that we play in Diesel Fitter, and we just played it.
We played that yesterday.
We played it yesterday at the Aries party, didn't we?
Yeah. You know, I usually don't play that song, and he just started in on that one, and away we went.
And I tell you what, Charlie played the Resophonic guitar to it, and it just fit perfectly to it.
You know, it was pretty good.
It was. It was a lot of fun.
I'm biased.
Well, you know, Charlie, when you play that Resophonic guitar, it lightens up a lot of people's ears, and they got to look. They got to look.
Yeah, they got to look and see what it is.
Yeah, they got
Resophonic music is.
It's very different.
Yes.
Yeah, it's very unique.
So, it definitely is that.
And they look around and they say, "Look at what he's doing. Look at what he's playing.
Look at what he's doing." That's
because it's a laptop. Pretty much.
Yeah.
And he plays with the finger picks and everything, and a slide guitar. You know, he's got the slide, the iron slide.
There's a lot going on.
Oh, yeah.
It's Resophonic. That's all I can tell you. And it's almost out of this world.
It is. It's like Universal out there, you know. You're going into different dimensions there.
And back to the 1937 thing, because that's what year it is. You know, that was.
Well, you know, they built those guitars like that because it would be so loud that you wouldn't need you wouldn't need an amplifier.
That's actually how they sold them a lot. That was on their flyer for selling. You know, that was one of their, whatever.
One of their main points for sales.
Yeah, sales was you didn't need an amplifier, and
because it was so loud.
A lot of people that wanted to play and didn't have a lot of money back in '37. You know, it was kind of tough.
We're talking 1937 here.
Yeah, it was kind of tough. So
yeah, it was.
You know,
that was during the Depression and stuff like that. You know, nobody had a lot of money back then, especially the people that bought these things, and they were just trying to make a buck.
Blues players bought these things.
Well, yeah.
So the one I got was up in it came out of Canada, but. It originated, first it was in Chicago, and I have a sneaky suspicion it rode the train up, and probably immigrant workers working as the things get ripe and work their way up, and it's been sold and played a few times. So.
Well, you know what? It would be awesome if guitars could tell their stories to people.
Oh, yeah.
And tell where they went to and who played them and stuff. It would be so cool if a guitar could talk and say, Well, they can, but if they could tell where they've been and stuff like that, wouldn't that be awesome?
You know, I think there's a movie about that called The Red Violin.
I've seen that movie.
You know, that's about an instrument that goes through time, and the instrument is just, it's a world-class violin, I guess you would call it, a violin.
And it's been everywhere.
From the monks to, the gypsies to the... I mean, it just went through time, and it showed all the people that played it, and they were all great.
Oh yeah,
all great.
They could all play.
I don't know who that was after the gypsies
yeah.
traded it to this guy where they were staying on his land. Man, that guy was good.
Yeah.
Anyway,
so,
Red Violin, check that one out.
Yeah, check out that DVD. Yeah, definitely. That's a great movie.
But back to our music,
Yeah. Well, Charles and I, we play blues. And we play old shantytown songs, too.
Yeah.
Charles loves to play and sing the shantytown songs, The old shantytowns, it's kind of like Jerry Garcia and David Grisman stuff.
Influences.
You know,
Led Zeppelin. You know.
Oh.
Some other influences we won't talk about.
Absolutely. Hey, we would like to say you're listening to the Basement Tape Show with Nick and Bootsy, and we've got special guest Charles Elliott in the studio tonight. And we are brought to you by Merle's Music. I don't know if I've mentioned that yet, but Merle's Music is the best place for musicians to go to get all of their candy store stuff for whatever a musician needs. Guitars, basses, special effects, PA systems, lighting systems, even lessons. If you're an aspiring musician and you want lessons, you can go get lessons at Merle's Music on guitar, bass, keyboards, even woodwind and brass instruments. So that's the place to go.
I was there, Richard, just last week, and I got something free. Free information.
Really?
Yeah. I was floored.
What did you get?
So well, I was asking some questions, and I got some free information about some older musical instruments. And, it's a good place to go. Those people are they know instruments well.
They're knowledgeable.
They certainly are.
Yeah.
They certainly are.
Especially Merle.
Yeah, Merle knows, yeah. There's no doubt about it. So, get your stuff there. These guys know where it's at. And the selection of guitars, it's awesome.
Yeah.
I'm an acoustic guy, and they've got a whole room full of these things. And they're not just regular acoustics. They're world-class musical acoustic guitars.
Yeah, they've got it all. They've got ukuleles. They've got banjos. They've got it. They've got it all there. And I go there. I get my strings there all the time. I get my guitar picks there because let me tell you what. I play every night on my guitar, and I wear guitar picks out all the time.
I bought a penny whistle there.
Really?
A penny whistle. They're more than a penny these days. Yeah. But I did get one. It was for a young man. It was his birthday, and I thought, well, we'll get him a musical instrument. And it was a quality penny whistle, one that really works.
I like the kazoos, too. Oh. Have you ever played a kazoo?
Yeah, I can't ever get him in tune. Yeah.
Hey, we're going to end up the show. I got to say this. Bootsy has been working tons of overtime on the brand new Basement Tapes website. So it's www.thebasementtapeswithnickandbootsy.com. And that's BOOTSY.
Not SIE.
Yeah. So, but it's coming up all over Google and Yahoo and all stuff because she knows how to do that stuff. So if you type in the Basement Tapes on Google and stuff like that, it's probably going to come up pretty darn quick.
One of the coolest things about it, I took our chat room out for a run tonight, the first time, and Dr. Mooser's been hanging out in there with me. But the really cool part about it is you can get into the chat room from the website. Or if you happen to be on Facebook, you can go to the Basement Tapes page and you can get in the chat room there, and you see the same chat room. Whether you're on the website or Facebook, it's the same. It's the same thing.
That's amazing.
So I can talk to people that are not on Facebook, and I can talk to people who are all at the same time because it's the same chat room, just in two different places.
And, of course, we're on Insane Realm Radio every Wednesday and Thursday night at 7 p.m. And we're on Spreaker.com, and we're on YouTube.com as well. So the Basement Tapes is all over the place. If you want to hear some really cool music, actually we're on InsaneRealmRadio.com every day from 8 o'clock to 10 o'clock in the morning. They play our music on the internet radio station. So if you want to check out some cool music all the time, it's on InsaneRealmRadio.com from 8 to 10 in the morning every day. You might even hear some Nick Thomas. Anyway, we're going to round out the show tonight with a really good set for you guys. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 songs for you guys to round out the show out tonight. We're going to start out with a band from Ann Arbor, Michigan called Jump Up Devil, doing a song called Worried Mind Blues. I love this song. You are going to love this song, too. It is awesome.
This is like old acoustic blues
Yeah.
type stuff. It's really
Does it
neat.
need a resophonic?
It does. They got a stand-up, a doghouse bass player and all that stuff. It's really good stuff. After that is a band out of St. Louis, Missouri called Shotgun Abbey, one of our favorite bands, doing a song called Cold. After that is a band out of Kansas City, Missouri called SWILL, doing a song called Meat.
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 Do your Sam.
Meat.
What's that from Ren and Stimpy? Kowalski. Kowalski says, what do you want? Meat. He says, what do you want to drink? Meat.
What's the meat commercial that you always do?
Oh,
Sam Elliott.
by Sam Elliott.
Yeah.
He says, what's for dinner? Beef. And then after that, Shadowplay from out of Mount Laurel, New Jersey, which is one of our favorite bands.
And they'll be coming back through this summer, too.
Oh, I can't wait to have them guys back in the studio. And they're going to do a song called Dark Hour. It's a really cool song. After that, Nick Thomas. I got a surprise for you. I sat down one Saturday afternoon, and I wrote a song called Saturday Afternoon. Figure that, and it's a build song too. It's kind of like Shadowplay. It's one of those songs that builds and builds and builds, and it crescendos, and then it comes back at you, and it's pretty cool. We might even play another song by Nick Thomas. It was a request.
We don't have it.
We don't have it right now. Okay, Bootsy.
We're trying to rebuild our library, and I haven't.
Okay, she's rebuilding stuff, but Dr. Moosier requested a song. But Dr. Moosier, we'll catch up with you next week on that song, okay, brother? Okay. And then of course we're gonna round out the show with Rick Gillert doing the Basement Tape Show song. So Nathan. I'm sorry. Nathan Matlock. I love this guy. He's from Rolla, Missouri, too. He's got a brand new original song that we're going to do for you guys right after my song called Take My Hand. And I tell you what, he just got done recording this in the studio. Nathan, good job, brother, because it sounds great, too. We can sit back, relax in the basement, and it's all good.
Levan did a good job of recording him.
Levan has a great studio out there, recording studio. And if you guys if there's bands out there that need to record something, you need to get a hold of Levan Gwynn up there in Bell, Missouri. He is
Branded Desperados.
Oh man, he's got a killer recording studio, and you guys can check that out too. So sit back, relax. You've been in the basement. You're still in the basement with Nick and Bootsy and special guest Charles Elliott right now here tonight. Thanks for joining in. We hope you've had a wonderful Sunday evening. We have, because we love bringing you guys some of the best indie music in the world. So check this out. This is Jump Up Devil out of Ann Arbor, Michigan, doing Worried Mind Blues. I love it.
And while you're listening to all this cool stuff, come hang out with me and Mooser in the chat room.
Yeah.
fellas, what's up? I'm Justin Sane from the Justin Sane Show. Hanging out in the basement, ain't nothing like it.
how's it going? This is Corey, Chris, Spencer, and Clark.
We're from Breakdancers with Wolves. You can hear us on the Basement Tapes.
On 92.9 K-Kid!
The KKID Basement Tape Show. Turn it on, tune it in, play it loud.
Scriptures aren't for me. Why would you write them now? Mirrors broken by the sound of mythic laughter. Feel the emptiness which I made you. Try today, so take my hand. Then if you find me by myself, then will you save me from this hell? I never meant for you to see every wrong you wrote down. Memory sheltered by the walls you built with anger. Are you listening to my pleas now? Lost and found, so take my hand. Then if you find me by myself, Insane Realm Radio at InsaneRealmRadio.com. The Basement Tape Show with Bootsy and Nick on the radio. Thursday night, it's a place to be. Sitting in the basement with Nick and Bootsy, playing tunes from all the indie bands. A lot of great music all across the land. Now Bootsy, she plays a left-hand bass. She plays it with a lot of finesse and grace. Nick, he plays a mean guitar. The blues sound good coming out of his amplifier. The tunes, live interviews, spontaneous, awesome stuff. So Thursday night, let's all do it right. In a basement, we are